Did I put on video or photo?
I got it.
Okay, so question came up, how do we work on kind of being able to get in like subtly and by surprise, that sort of thing. So we're just gonna do a few exercises. So one thing to keep in mind, ghostliness, or if this is something that Tim said, lightness is just the basics done a lot better. All right, so it's not like there's a particular, he comes in and I can fake it, right? Because generally people who try to fake ghostliness or lightness, they just end up getting hit a lot, right? As opposed to if you're really feeling what's going on, then it's just, it's developed sensitivity and ability to move freely over time. But practicing in the right way can help you with that. Like, right, if we're always doing contact flow, a lot of like heavy pressure and probably not going to get you there if that's what you're always doing. So what we're going to do next, we're going to do some contact flow, but we're going to make sure not giving a shit what he's doing. Within our own bodies, we're going to be very light, and we're going to visualize that all parts of our bodies are hands, right? So if he's touching me here, for example, it's not like, oh, he's touching my shoulder, I got to get my shoulder out of the way and get my hand back on him. No, the shoulder is just like my hand in that it can be light and stick to things. Anywhere else he's touching me, right? It's just a hand, and I can just keep my body free to be extremely light. Not necessarily like no contact, but no, obviously this is hard to see on camera, but no buildup of pressure. Anywhere he even starts to try to build up pressure, I'm just staying mobile to be extremely light. And trying to do this with as little space, as little movement as possible. In other words, to be light here, for example, I don't need to like take a big step back or something, right? Just change it slightly, and I treat this now as a hand, right? This is now my chest and torso are now my hand that's sticking to his, very lightly, right? I want to keep my head pulled up, tank pulled down as well as I can, just to make it easier for everything to move freely. Very relaxed legs and hips is critical here, not because I want to like move them bigly, but anything, in order to stay light here, I need a lot of mobility there. So we're gonna flow like this, staying very, very light. Help your training partner. If you feel something that's not so light, kind of give them a chance. Okay, how can you get light there? Treat that like a hand. Good, right? And you just keep going. Obviously, no thought whatsoever of winning or losing. Even if there's contact with the head, that's fine. That's my opportunity to treat my face as a hand, okay? Just to get everything where he gets getting in the neck, treating that like a hand, keeping all the contact as light as I can while staying as chill and relaxed and comfortable as I can. Light, 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 that's it. And then don't move this into that, right? At least not in a heavy way. If this is a hand, continue moving. Yeah, reason why was because your spine was bent that way, right? So as we do this now, we're gonna slowly go down to our knees, okay? So we're gonna do the same thing, remaining very, very light with everything. Difference is now we have a little less range of mobility, right? We have fewer joints between our root points and our points of contact. But it doesn't matter, we're just trying to find within our bodies how to be light everywhere. If we feel like we get stuck somewhere, feel free. If I feel it myself, instead of like saying, fuck it, no, hold on. That's how I can be light there, right? Or this is how I treat this part like a hand. Remember, if you're thinking like logically, it's like, oh, this is pushing here, so I need to escape this way. Well, I can't, I'd fall backwards, right? But instead, if these were hands, right, how can I just change it? A lot of the time, right, he's pushing on the shoulder. Instead of having to like escape it, just a little change, and I'm back to being light and like in control of the pressure that's coming, right? So do this for a while, and you can actually like move a little on your knees if you want, and they're just like kind of stepping in here. I mean, if your knees and legs are up to it, don't like mess your joints up or anything. And now next drill, I'm on my back, and Yoel's just gonna use his fists to put a little pressure. And my job is just to move my body as subtly as I can to not let the pressure build up, right? Wherever he's pushing, right? I'm sorry, right? There we go, okay? And notice it may not be that, I'm not looking for this. If he's pushing here, I'm not gonna go, right? I wanna be as subtle and free as I can about it, right? Just feeling within my body, wherever it is, how can I, move to just like not accept the pressure of that, okay? Or to maybe shift a little, even if he's doing it on my head or face or neck. Right? How can I move as subtly as possible to not be bothered by that, okay? And you can do both fists at once in different places, move with it. Oh, and notice this is not a ground fighting drill, guys. Start putting pressure, bam! No, this is not that, or, don't make it a fight. This is simply an exercise to be as light as possible and treat every part of your body as a hand that can be light and non-resistant and avoid giving pressure even when I have almost no space to work with, right? Because the ground is behind me. Now, of course I would do it to him too, but now we come back up to the knees. What you should hopefully feel is it is so much easier now to treat all parts like hands and avoid the temptation to give pressure. Why? Because if I could do it while I had almost no space on the ground, in other words, I had to find motion and space a little more internally, now I have a lot more space. But again, now I don't want to use it, right? If he's pushing it, I don't want to do that. But no, I feel how I can just with the smallest motion be very light. And now I can also feel how I can use that to kind of, despite whatever he's doing, get close to him. Now we get back to our feet. Okay, we're just doing contact flow. Again, nothing's changed, just being as light and subtle as possible. Anywhere he wants to push on me, just not accepting that pressure, not allowing anything to build. If I want to push on him, just not allowing that to build. I shouldn't be trying to push on him really, but just, but we can kind of help each other out, feel where we maybe have a little less motion here. That's just a hand. There you go. Remember, when we use our hands to touch someone else, we don't have the feeling that our hands need to escape, right? If I feel him moving against my hand, I don't feel like, oh shoot, I need to get my hand out of the way. Same feeling in the body. He's touching my body. It doesn't need to escape. It's just going to be, it's just going to be like a hand and just work with it, right? So hopefully what you feel after doing this exercise, you're able to stay a lot more pressure-free, a lot less anxious about stuff, and maybe even able to freely move and maybe be in on him despite his best efforts. Yoel, try to keep me out, right? Just by keeping my body very smooth. If you notice, if anything, I'm trying to go slower than Yoel is, right? He tries to really try hard to keep me out. And I'm able to find my way in. Now, I allow myself even more lightness. Okay, try to beat me up, well. Right. Oops, sorry, you okay? I had to move back there to avoid that impacting, but you get the idea now. This is where kind of that progress towards ghostliness comes from. Anything he's doing, I'm able to move with it freely and be in basically before a normal person would realize it, okay? And in a way that's helpful, notice. Not just getting in like this, which doesn't necessarily do much, right? But getting my whole body in with minimal resistance, right? In a way that is effective, right? And then just kind of take the brakes or the limitations off, right? And it just becomes easy. But again, this doesn't come from mimicking it. It comes from the sensitivity and all the stuff that you build up by doing this. That ability to be not only physically unavailable to pressure, but mentally as well, right? Resisting the temptation, even if he's pushing in. This isn't something to be, pissed off about or escape. It's just, I'm using this as a hand, and this is fine. Anywhere else, even if he's doing complicated stuff, just the ability to stay smooth with it, treat the whole body as a hand, and be totally undisturbed, mentally, physically, etc. Make sense? Let's drill it.